Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, I've got my 12 best bottles of 2023. I cannot get my hands on all unicorns. This list will not be filled with all unicorns. It will have some everyday products that you probably can find on the shelves. However, the majority of these bottles are going to be unicorns. The reason why is because companies put their best out as special releases. I can't help that. However, we are going to get into some bottles starting with my number 12 all the way up to my number 1, starting with number 12. Thank you to Laura and Troy. This right here is a 100 proof single barrel Old Forester that you cannot get your hands on. I do apologize. These are all single barrels, so they are going to all be different. I thought that this was good enough to make the list because I was going to cap it at 10. But then I was like, you know what? Just put on there what is good, what you think is good for 2012. I have been accused of being a proof hound. I can be a proof hound. 100 proof is that proof point that I kind of sit around and I love to sip on when it's, just a regular occasion. But sometimes that higher proof stuff is just more flavorful, man. So this happens to be one of those. Brown-Forman puts out some amazing products. The Old Forester single barrel at 100 proof, which I didn't even know existed up until I think it's been about a month and a half now ago that they weren't even on my radar. So let's get into number 11. Number 11, I have not put out the review as of yet, probably not as of this video, but the Kirkland single barrel by 1792. Shout out to the master distiller. His name is Danny Kahn. This thing right here, man, this is a backup. I had to shout out Brad, man. I had to get a backup from Brad. It was that good. Comes in at 120 proof for a liter. And I think it was like 28 bucks. One amazing product. This is my number 11. Let's get into number 10. Number 10, just shot the review for batch 2 tonight. This right here was a favorite of mine. It was one of my favorite releases of 2023. I did not have a hard time getting my hands on this bottle. Virginia ABC just had them. I mean, when no one else had them, Virginia ABC just had them sitting on the shelves. They weren't even on the allocated list. They were just, you could walk in the store, oh, Burnham Barrel Proof, oh, pick it up, there it is, bam, you got it. Number 9 on the list, I told you guys that this bottle will always be on my list. It is just that good. You're always going to see it on the list, no matter what year it is. This is Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof. They do an incredible job putting together the Single Barrel Barrel Proof. This has made me a fan of Jack Daniel's. Before this, I would never have, shout out to Jason C, man, because had it not been for him, I don't think anybody else was talking about how good Jack Daniel's was on their channels. This gold label Jack is just so ridiculously good. I have not had a bad bottle yet. Every barrel is good. The ones that are 130 and above, I tend to look more for. If it's over 130, I don't care how many I have at the house. I'll just pick up a bottle. They are that good. Let's get into my number 8. My number 8, shout out to Tom, man. We met up. He gave me a sample of this thing. This is the Maker's Mark Cellar Aged. I thought it was great. I didn't think it was top 5, especially when you see what my top 5 is. I thought it was great. I chased this bottle. I still think it's worth the chase. I don't think it's worth that $500 that a lot of stores are charging for them. But I do think it is a very good bottle, man. If you can get your hands on this thing for retail, which is $150 or maybe even $200, go ahead and drop it because I think it is worth that much money. Let's get into my number. Let me count backwards. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Let's get into number 7. My number 7, Russell's Reserve Batch 4. I picked this up while I was at the Virginia ABC. They had a drop on a Saturday. Shout out to Doug. That's where I met Doug. This thing right here is really good. It is, to me, and I did put it side by side with Batch 3. I do not think It was as good as batch 3, but I think it is delicious. Shout out to my brother-in-law Bobby for coming over on Thanksgiving and mixing Pepsi with it. I knock you upside your head. But anyway, all right, so let's get into number 6. Number 6. This is courtesy of Dave Vogelsang. I got a lot of shout outs in this video, I guess. Dave gave me this bottle, man. This thing is good. This is Stag 22A. Batch 22A is something special. And if you do not believe me, go back and watch that video. I put 22A beside 22B and 23A. 22A, it's incredible. It is something about it. It's amazing. Out of all of those batches side by side, 22A just shine. Now 22B wasn't far behind. 23A was a little bit of a different profile, but 22A just did it for me, man. Let's take a drink. Cheers. All right, so we are getting down to the last. I might have to cut this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last 5. All right. So number 5 is Jack Daniel Single Barrel Proof Rye. This was the backup that I got from Brad. Shout out to Brad again, man. This thing comes in at 139 proof even. It is something special. The first one I got was around 127 proof. This thing right here though, oh my gosh, man. Jack knows how to do it. Their barrel proof releases are just incredible and insane. It drinks a little hot, which is unusual for Jack because even at like most of the 126, 127 proofs do not drink anywhere near their proofs. This drinks everywhere but 139. But it is so flavorful. I love the banana note, the pink bubblegum note. It's just so sweet, so good. You can't go wrong with this thing right here. All right, coming in at number 4. Number 4, which I thought early on in the year was going to be my number 1 of 2023. This is Larceny A123. Oh, I don't know what to say. The closest thing you can get to the A123 is C923. A123 is incredible. For the longest time, I just knew that this was going to be my number 1 of 2023. Let's get into number 3, and I'm pretty sure you guys know what it is because you have not seen it on the table yet. Elijah Craig C923. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. What the heck beat out Elijah Craig C923? You'll find out in a minute, but Elijah Craig C923, I've never had a pirate bottle. I do have a pirate bottle, well, a sample of a pirate bottle coming. And that review will be on the channel probably sometime in 2024. But as of right now, I've never had a pirate bottle. A lot of people who have had the pirate bottle say that this thing is the closest that you'll probably ever get to those bottles out of the new batches. This thing right here was amazing. Coming in at 133 even. It was just, oh my gosh, man. All right. If you are a fan of the channel and you've been watching for quite a long time, you know that I just released this review. My number 2 bottle of 2023. This is 13th Colony Double Oak. 13th Colony Double Oak just did something to me. As soon as I put it in a glass, it was just incredible. I was like, oh my gosh. I was out in my mind. I just had to say it. The hype is real. The hype is real. If you can find this bottle, man, go out and pick it up. It is a unicorn. They had very small distribution. The first year was around 1,800. This year, I think it was around 3,500. Those bottles were so hard to find, it was ridiculous. These were harder to find than cellar age, if you can believe that. However, shout out to Shane for providing me with the sample. He was able to walk into a store and get one. Sometimes those cars fall that way. I know what you guys are wondering in your head. What beat out 13th Colony Double Oak? I'm not going to tell you just yet. If you are familiar with the channel, you know the lineup behind me. So start looking at the bottles behind me. You will find out that one of those is that bottle. And it is Old Carter PLDC batch number 3. This bottle, this is the reason why, because if you watched my 13th Colony review, you know that I had way more double oak than this bottle than this. I had to keep going back and forth. It was just, oh my, the Old Carter comes in at a lower proof. It comes in at 117. You see where it's at in the bottle. I tried to keep this thing on the bar as much as possible. It was just way more rounded. The sweetness on it was just incredible. Don't get me wrong, 13th Colony is amazing, but when I put it side by side, and 13th Colony, I believe, is 138 proof. And normally, that's why I've been accused of being a proof hound. Normally, when it has more proof, it has more flavor. But the Old Carter PLDC batch number 3 batch, it was just so well rounded, so well put together. The sweetness was incredible. Just everything just melded together. I don't know if you guys have experienced it, but when you buy old Dusties in a store of bottles that you don't like and you crack it open and you're like, this is pretty good. I think just over the years, all of those flavors just tend to blend together well. That is what is going on in this bottle of Old Carter. This bottle retails for $150, the 13th Colony Double Oak. The Old Carter retails for, I want to say, $199. I paid $250. These are going for, I heard stupid numbers like $800, one of the guys put in the comments. You can buy a bottle of Old Carter for, if you get it for retail, $200 to $300 and get a bottle that beats out this bottle. And to me, it is worth every penny. I spent $250 on a bottle. I would do it again all day long. It is that great. Yes, to those people who stuck around to the end of the video, I have had the Old Carter American whiskey. Shout out to David for providing me with a sample. He's over at Whiskey Bank. So thank you for providing me with that sample. But the American Carter whiskey that he provided me with, to me, it just didn't stand up to this Old Carter right here, man. This thing is amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed my list for 2023. Please put in the comments what your list is for 2023. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Till next time.